Hi again, everyone. David here with another episode of What's Happening in ASL, I guess I could call it. Anyway, I wanted to talk a bit about the AFVs we have in Squad Leader, Advanced Squad Leader, and how they work. But before talk about how they interact with the terrain about them, I'm just going to show all the information that's on these counters. Now on the top, I have a number of counters you can see here, and they are on the obverse, and you have the reverse. There's all sorts of information. I'm going to start at the top left, and I'll work my way across. So that is an AFV. You can tell it's a tracked vehicle because of the oval that's up here. The echo on the top left, that just means it's designation. Like, for example, if its name was Charlie or Bill, it's just E. So if you want to identify A, B, C, D, E, all right, normally there's 5. Has a designation down the top there, SU-85. And also you can see the barrel pointing to the lower right. That's the way it's facing is the best way to say it. So start at the top right, work our way around. As I mentioned, the oval means it's a fully tracked vehicle. The 16, it's black 16. That just means it's a movement point allowance per turn. The next two are its hull armor. The frontal armor and the side and rear armor. In this case, 11 and 6. There's nothing else around it. There's no circles or squares or anything, so just ignore it. That's all it is. Keep coming left, 85L. That's its caliber. The L means it's a long barreled, and the 1 in the box simply means that it has a rate of fire of 1 for its main armament. Also note, on the Echo itself, there is neither a circle nor a square around it, which means its ground pressure is normal. Pretty straightforward, right? Coming to the next one. Has 2 circles on there, so basically it's like a truck, all right? I don't have an example up here of an armored car, but it's like a truck. No problem. So what its correction is an armored car. I get this backwards. I'll confirm. You notice it has a couple of stars down there. It's just referring to its size. It doesn't have any armor value. It's unarmored. There's no values. But the top star is red, which means it's a large target. If both are black, as they are with the one over here, then it's just a normal size target. So the rest of the information is the same. However, you see around here, this one has a circle, where this one didn't. That means that one does not have a turret. This one does, and it's a fast turret, which, again, it talks about how fast it can change targets moving around. The next one, again, a lot of information there is basically the same, but new stuff I'll point out. You notice that it's, actually, I'll go back to this one with this Charlie. You see it's got a circle. That means it has high ground pressure. That just means that it easier chance to bog, get immobilized, stuff like that. Come to the next one. The new one is the thick black or white square that's around it. That means it's a restricted slow traverse turret. Again, the rules will talk about what that does. You notice the movement point allowance is in red. That means every time you go to start, you have to roll 2 dice. You roll a 12, bad things happen. Well, something else that's new, you see here it has a breakdown number of 11. Its main gun will malfunction on an 11 or a 12. Finally, down here we have some values. There's a slash followed by the 4. Basically, it's the machine gun values. If there's 2 numerals there, then they refer to the bow and the coax. In this case, the first numeral is missing. Bow is 0. Coax has a firepower of 4. Also, on its armor values, the front and the side, there's a circle and there's a square. Basically, the front armor is a 2. What you see printed there is the hull armor. If there's a difference in the turret, there'll be a circle or a square. A circle means it's an inferior turret from that facing. So in the front, the turret value is only a 1 in the upper. From the side, however, you see the side is a 1, but it has a box. That means it's superior turret. That means the turret is actually stronger on the side for that vehicle than it is in the front. It's a 2. All right, let's go to the next vehicle here. We've already talked about a bunch of stuff, but basically this thing is a monster, the T-35. You got the 2 numerals are both in red. It means it's a massive target. Echo has a square. It means it has low ground pressure. We already talked about the 10. Talked about the 76 star has an overscore. That basically means it doesn't have any armor piercing ammo. And then you come into this 45L times 2. It has, best is chapter H, but basically it has a whole bunch of guns on the front, including here. There's 3 values for the machine guns. If you have three, the first one is bow, followed by coax, followed by anti-aircraft gun. Also, you notice the square around it is thin. So it's a slow turret, but it's not restricted slow traverse. The big difference here is that this one has to be fired when the crew commander is buttoned up. Here, the crew commander can be unbuttoned if he wishes to fire. Still with me? We'll come to the last one here. We have an armored car. It is an armored car with the double circles here. The armored car is a BA, whatever it is. It looks like a white square, thick, just like it is over for this one. However, it's broken in the corners. That just means it's a single-man turret. Single-man turrets, again, go to the rules and figure out the differences there, but basically that's what that means. You can see here he has high ground pressure, rate of fire 1, and also CMG. That refers, if it says CMG, basically that's saying that his main armament is actually a coaxial machine gun. Its value, right there, is the 4. So that's what it is. And again, in the rules, coaxial machine guns as main armament have different attributes to them. That's only the front of the target vehicles. So let's look at the back. Again, just a number of them here. Doesn't really matter what they are, but there's all sorts of information, not everything that you're going to see. Over here we have the R. It's in a circle. That just means it's a radialist tank, and they have to operate a certain way. You're going to see in most AFVs a CS and then a numeral. Basically, that means it's a crew survival number. If the vehicle is destroyed, you have to roll that number or less on 2 dice, and if you do, then the crew will survive. If not, they perish. Let's go to the next one. More information. On the top, small s, big M, 8, Smoke Mortar. Basically, if you try to fire your Smoke Mortar, you have to roll on 2 dice, 8 or less. Below that, we have Alpha for A4/5, and that number there is for its AP special ammo. It's by dates. The number you need to get is the large one, in this case of 4, from A4, so from August 1944. But once you get to 1945, the next one, you need a 5 or less. S5, superscript 5. So it has a smoke on its main armament. It can fire smoke, but only starting in 1945, and it needs to roll a 5 or less. Crew survival number is better. It's a 6. Also, we have a G. That's unique to a lot of American or some American tanks. It means it has a possibility of a gyro stabilizer. We'll come to the next one. This is actually a German vehicle here. It has A4, the AP number at the top, starting in 1944. We have S7, so we can fire smoke rounds needing a 7 or less. HE, it has a high explosive, but it needs to roll 7 or less as well. SZ over here, that means a possibility of having what they call Schürzen. It's skirts that they put on the side of the vehicles to help protect them against shape-charged weapons. Lower left, SN number with a 7 in 1944 and an 8 in 1945. This is what's called it's a close support or close defense weapon system. Nahverteidigungswaffe is what it means. And some people call it a Schnuggi-Waffe. And it helps it with basically in close combat. It's a very, very deadly weapon system. Basically, they're launching grenades through the roof and killing infantry around it. Finally, the last one, we have a Panther G here. See, it has a Schnuggi-Waffe as well, crew survival number. But up here, it has a star number, stall. And I'm just going to flip this one over just so we can see what I'm talking about. See, the front has its numeral is 15. It has a star next to it. Whenever there's a star anywhere on this vehicle, what it's just telling you to do is to look at the back for more information. So we go to the back. Here we go. So if you roll a 12, it will stall. And the rules will say how many movement points you'll add, and then you'll try to start it again. So it's better than the A and the D models. They stalled right out, just like the ones at the top there with the red numerals. The Panther 5G, the 5G had a better transmission, but it still hadn't worked out all the problems. Okay, there's not going to be a test, but hopefully this will help at least dip your toe in the water of AFVs in ASL. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.